Want to keep an eye on the VIX today. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bag of Don, Stock Market Caddy. Today is September 12th at about 9 a.m. Market is still pretty much in the middle, trying to decide what we're going to do here. We look at the VIX. The VIX is at 30, which is low. It could go lower. A low VIX usually translates into a rising market, but look at the daily on the S&P. We're looking primarily at the S&P. As goes the S&P, will go everything else. And she's at 50. If the market was balanced, we would see the VIX, the S&P up around 70. So we have some divergence. And the way we're interpreting it is that the market was just overly complacent. And so we think the VIX is going to rise here. And we think the market's going to be coming in. And the other tell is, of course, the Russell has been quite weak, and the Nasdaq as well. So we're gonna slide these back to intraday, our intraday models. That is for position trading. When we're trading intraday, we're trading intraday. It doesn't really. It is what it is. And we've been running overnight. It didn't do. We had some run-ups. But we continued running, and we may choose to shut the program off here fairly early today. We get in, get our cash out, and stop. But if you have any questions, feel free to visit the site. Feel free to email us. Feel free to give us a call. And we got to be careful here. We have new folks that are coming by and seeing on YouTube. So the reason we put this little note in here, excuse my spell all, somebody was asking a question, and I understand, is this a holy grail, or questions about holy grails and so forth, and people getting ripped off from gurus. Folks, I'm not a guru. This is not a holy grail. This is not a game to us. Presented in a fun format. We want to enjoy what we're doing, but it isn't a game. We don't commit this type of time and effort, for a game. We're here trying to extract cash flow. If you are looking for something that doesn't exist, then you're probably going to be disappointed. So to those folks that say that, oh man, so-and-so said it was a holy grail and it was a guru, if you're looking for a fairy tale, if you're looking for the what do the kids do when they lose their teeth? What do they call that thing? Oh, for heaven's sakes. What do they call it? I don't know many kids. They leave their teeth under their pillows and they get a little payment. If you believe in that and someone tells you that they have that, well then, that's part of the issue. So we're not saying that that we have the holy grail, the fairy tooth there. Tooth fairy, the tooth fairy, that's it. You're telling already kids, the tooth fairy. So if I tell you that I have the tooth fairy, all right, it wouldn't be me, but if somebody tells you they have the tooth fairy and you believe in the tooth fairy, and then you get disappointed because you're not getting any payment out of it, who's at fault? So understand these tools that we present to you, namely, this is a big part of what we do, this one, but we got a whole bunch of others. These are tools. It's like going to Lowe's and getting a skill saw. Just because you can go to Lowe's and get a skill saw doesn't mean that you're going to be able to build yourself a staircase, right? You're going to have some carpentry skills. You're going to need to have some time. And it's okay if you don't. I had a gentleman call. Maybe he's going to call back, maybe not. But a week ago he called. And he said, Don, this is great. This is great. Oh man, this is great. This is great. I want to sign up. He was all excited. He was so excited. I was almost a little too concerned because he was so excited. And he goes, but there's only one problem. I go, what's that? He goes, well, I have the money for the Q school and everything. I got the money for the Q school. I just don't have the time, Don. Oh, okay. All right. Well, you don't have the time. I mean, if you don't have the time, you don't have the time. I'm sorry. You know, it takes time. It takes time to learn. You just can't, sign up and then in 5 minutes learn how to play golf. The tooth fairy. Thank you, Ken. I couldn't think of it. Couldn't think of it. So if so when people say, and I know there's a lot of disingenuousness, online on a whole bunch of different things, not just trading, on a whole bunch of things. So, I think it's important that you be skeptical. I think you should be. I am a skeptic, that's for sure. But I think also, but there's a fine line between skepticism and cynicism and being jaundiced. If you're jaundiced, if you're become cynical, then you really have to just kind of stop, I think, and I've delivered this message, and it's sometimes a tough message and people turn off, and that's fine, because if it happens, it's just as well. We're trying to give people a chance to say, yet, no, I don't want to do this. I don't like you. I don't like your message. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the risk capital. I don't have this. I don't have that. Okay. Then it's best. It's best that we, vet that out. It's best that you vet that out. And you want to go someplace else that someone says, if you follow them and you do this and you do that, you're going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars without committing any time or effort, and you don't need any skill, and, and you just, they win 90% of the time in that whole drill, then, have at it. But that's not, our members work extremely hard at this. And yet they have all the tools. You still got to do the work. You still got to do it. You still, it's still work to build the staircase, So I just want everyone to know, these tools, we're not presenting them as holy grails. We're not, I'm not the tooth fairy. Yeah, I'm not. We're not and I joke about it, but I'm serious. It's now happened more than once, where I get an email from somebody. I don't know why the hell you make all those YouTube videos? You don't even, why the hell would I want to give you $100 a month, which is what our monthly is, or annual is even more. Oh, why would I do that? You don't even give out any of the fish. You don't give out any of the things. You don't make any claims. Why the hell would I want to bother with you? Perfect. Don't. We're here for the person that wants to learn. Learn. And I know that's oh, it is what it is. I mean, so any case, we're not the tooth fairy either. Although tooth fairy's being pretty kind to us this morning, huh? That all the trades that have gone in up here that you're seeing are being run by a robot called HFT2, and it's going in over here. We can intervene at any time. We can turn the robot off. We can stop it. But we're gonna let it run. And we put down here as a reminder, for everybody, if you've never thought about this, sometimes I'll talk to people call and I'll say, like, how much money a month do you think you want to make if, you were to realize your dreams? They'll be like, well, that's a really good question. I don't know. You want to know, right? You want to know. I mean, are you going to go to work for somebody and not know? what you hope to make. Here, you're going to go to work. If you're going to start trading, you're going to work for yourself. Don't you want to have an idea of what you're going to get paid? I mean, don't you want to have some idea? So we're trying to teach folks to approach this as a business. And most people probably, don't have a business or haven't have no business experience. And that's okay. But we're going to force you to at least here to look at it that way. And but our members, especially the folks that are most successful, they're very organized, they're very motivated, they're very disciplined, they're very patient, they're very methodical, disciplined, patient, methodical. They're serious about what they're doing. They're enjoying the hell out of what they're doing. They thoroughly enjoy it. That's the other part too. I've gotten phone calls from people and I can tell, and it's unfortunate. They're angry. They're upset. Someone's ripped them off, or the market's ripped them off, or something. I get that. I get it. We don't always win. We don't always, have a profitable day. I get that. But if you don't enjoy what it is you're doing, why do you do it? Right? Why do it? Now, if you're fearful too, some people are just really, really fearful. I think to have some concern, some apprehension, I think that's normal. But if you have an absolute fear of uncertainty, like you're like a fear of heights. If you're fearful of height, have an absolute fear of it, it's probably not a good idea to go try to be a pilot in the Air Force, or, which I did. So, I mean, the likelihood that I was going to, get into an endeavor where I was going to have to be in an airplane every day was like slim and none. No thanks. Don't like them. Never have. Not really. Um, so you have to do some soul searching in advance, especially before you say that. And I'm not saying yay or nay that other people have, said what they've said and, gurus, but I am not a guru. Nope. Nope. I am the most ignorant person in this market today, the most ignorant person you could hope to listen to or talk to. Nope, I have no idea where this market's going to go today. I don't. I don't. This afternoon, you know what? This thing could be all, the market could be running, running, running. And if it is, guess what? Swing machine's going to be all green. That's about all I can tell you. If you're constantly asking yourself, why is it doing that? Why is it doing this? Why? Understand, and that's the only other thing that we can try to do is make you aware of what it is you don't know. I can't answer that question, why? So I don't ask it. That is the rational side of your brain wanting to know why. And Wall Street and Madison Avenue have been playing on your fears, playing on the rational side of your brain. They have been weaving a bunch of bullshit for decades and decades and decades. And maybe one of the greatest scams going. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. I will leave you with this too. So a big part, you've got to be comfortable with the uncertainty of things. We're not trained, we're not programmed to, excuse me, Had to sneeze there. We're not programmed to um, seek out uncertainty, right? But it can be learned, and when you not only learned, but um, it just keeps life interesting. You can really grow to like it if you can embrace uncertainty. And I don't think it's just in trading, but in life in general. Boy, I think you're going to be, have a distinct advantage over everyone else because they're not. They'd rather not. They'd rather pull up the covers. And that Cat 5 storm, that ain't gonna bother me any. Well, okay. I hope not, you know. Um, it can happen in the market. Do we have maybe this afternoon we're gonna have a Cat 3 market hurricane blow in? I don't know. I don't know. But I got a view on it. I got tools. I'm positioned. But everybody else, I was just out to get my coffee, and Susan's got the news on. I'm like, Susie, why do you even put that on anymore? It was like the local traffic, you know. I mean, everybody's going to wherever they're going. Do they have any idea what the market's doing right now? No, not at all. No, probably not. Maybe if you do, got the radio on, but most don't. They're going to work, they're collecting their dollars, they're pouring it into, the brokerages, and they have no visibility on it, and they have no interest, I guess. So um we're not going to reach those folks. But there are some folks that are doing that, and they are educating themselves and getting prepared. And we're not saying that the markets are not rigged. They are rigged. It is. And it's no question about it. They're rigged. Why wouldn't they be rigged? Everything else is rigged. So let's just stay on the side that's rigged. Let's not fight it. I don't know about the Fed. They say don't fight the Fed, don't fight. I think you just don't want to fight the market. The market we cannot triangulate. It isn't fixed. I wish it was. It would be so much easier if it was like the stars in the sky, a constellation. We could triangulate, but we can't. Every day, the damn thing is different. It's different. And, you know, is it related from one day to the next? Maybe a little bit, the closing values, but it's more, don't think of the market like the stars in the sky. Think of it more like the surface of the ocean. We're going this way, we're going that way, we're going this way, we're going that way. And if you don't think there's a skill in navigating the ocean, then watch a couple of those shows of Deadliest Catch when they go out into the Bering Sea and navigate and captain those boats to get the crab in the boat. Those guys are multi-millionaires that captain those boats. They go out there and they do it day in and day out. Do I delude myself to think that I could get into that seat and drive that boat around so those guys could safely get crab on that boat? Not a chance in hell. It takes time, but yet they do it. So when we sit down here with the C's, the market C's, this is our dashboard, like the dashboard on that boat, like the dashboard of an airplane. And our job is to get the crab on the boat. And that's about the extent of it. We're going to let you watch. Get any questions, let us know. Good luck, everybody. By the way, we put out a tweet yesterday. A tweet yesterday. It was 18 hours ago. You can see it. And we said we are sellers of the NQ. Now, when I put out a tweet like that, we don't do it very often, but we will do it at key points every once in a while. You said that we are sellers of the NQ above 15,681. That was 100 points ago. 100 points straight down. By the way, if you're passing through on YouTube and you want the video of this particular trading robot from midnight last night, and you actually want to see all the other trades that it did, because it did have other trades, it was up, and but it basically broke even. It's up now if we were to stop, which is what we're trying to do. We don't when you cannot we don't get the peak, we don't get the low. If we don't get the peak and we don't get the low, then we don't um, we don't always have the highest equity curve, right? It doesn't go from peak to peak to peak, right? It troughs, right? What we don't want. By the way, there was a person. He was nice enough, and if he's listening, I'm not picking on him at all. We get the same comments from so many people. It's the same, and his comment was about, I've been ripped off by these gurus and these guys saying they got a holy grail, and I got ripped off, and and I've blown up my account 2 or 3 times. That's also another refrain that we hear. And Um, we have zero tolerance for that. Zero tolerance. And you might say, oh, how can that be? Well, we do it mechanically. But the reason too, um, the most popular reason why folks blow up their accounts is that it's multifaceted, but one of the reasons is they're coming in undercapitalized or over leveraged. And then you couple that with no education, no expectations, really just don't know what they're doing, and come in and and are expecting to, do whatever it is they're going to do. They're going to come in and make 20, 30, $40,000 in a week and, go buy that car or something, go buy that camper or go buy something. Um, that's with, three or $4,000 in their leveraged account, and I blew it up. Man, that guy sucks. You know, um, that's not us. That's not us. We've been here for weeks and weeks, for months and months, and for years and years. We haven't been here 6 months, 6 years, been here time, a long time. And we're going to be here because I enjoy doing it. And I have a very realistic view of my own skill set and expectations. And I'm pretty patient. I'm not going to come in, and I certainly could. I could come in with, with excess leverage, and I know that that's not what you want to do. If you have a pilot, I think you want them to be patient. I think if you have a surgeon, I think you want them to be patient, don't you? You know, okay, that was not me. That was the machine that took that trade. Little active here around the open. Market's pretty mixed. You can see the swing machine is almost like a rainbow of colors, pretty mixed. Not unusual. Just taking a look at oil. Oil on a daily basis is pushing near at 80, not quite into euphoric. Can it go higher? It can. This is not the place to be initiating a long on oil on a position basis, going out daily or weekly. The likelihood that oil is going to come back toward the low 80s is very, very high. So we'd be looking to fade on a position basis oil. Not suggesting anybody do anything with their money, just giving you an idea of some of the tools that we use. The reason why we do these YouTube sessions is to give you a glimpse of what we're doing and how we go about it a little bit. It's just a glimpse. I don't have the time. You don't have the time, quite frankly, on YouTube to show you how we can begin to use Swing Machine. And part of the problem is, or the challenge is, and you don't know what you don't know. So that's where the Q School comes into play, where we can spend good quality time. And it's okay. It is okay. We have had people, say, I don't have that time. And that's okay. It's just not going to work with us. That's all. Because, this is not, it's just not automatic. We're using automation, but it isn't automatic. There's a difference between that, right? I think sometimes people think automation is going to be, oh, it's automatic. I don't have to read anything. I don't have to learn anything. I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to turn the thing on and it's just going to print me money. As we said, no, nope, that's not what I've said. Nope. Nope. And it's crazy how the market will be, and this is what happens, in the morning, right? The futures are down, and everyone's like, "Oh man, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down." We even said, so we may be all green in a couple of hours, and they get themselves we call short in the hole, either using options or using whatever it is they're doing with leverage, and then the market says nope, and the machines step in, and their machines. I think, no, we're going to take you the other way. And those folks are getting spanked right now. If our machine did in fact go long, we intervened once just to grab a little bit of profit and kind of wait this out a little bit. I would have been better off just letting it continue to run, but that's okay. Again, we're not going to pick the very high, the very low every single day or every single morning. Meaning, and I'm not always going to get the peak in my account. Somebody might be passing through. Oh, what's the big deal? He made $400. This is nothing. I don't want to watch some guy who's making $5,000. Okay, well, you go ahead and do that. That's fine. That's why I put it down here. We got 24 trading days in a month. I got all the time in the world. I don't have to commute any place. I don't have to be any place. Going to Costco later today. Get myself one of them hot dogs. But I don't have to be any place. And it is lumpy. It's not always $100 a day, but 100 a day comes out to 2,400 a month, 200. So $400, $400 to $500 a day is nothing to sneeze at. Now, do we make money every single day? No. So, so it's lumpy. We try to do what we can to smooth it out. I wish I could show you the other systems that we're looking at here. We're at the high end of this range intraday here. So this market is trying to make a decision if we're going to run the rest of the day or not. We'll see. Now, had I not scooped out a trade there, I can tell you what this thing would have been up. Let's see here. Bear with me. Yeah, almost $700. Yeah, it's okay though. See, we don't beat ourselves up if we don't get the high water mark. We don't beat ourselves up if we, miss the low water mark. We're just playing for the middle, right? Rush the ball for a few yards, get a first down, and set up and do it again. The next trade that goes in will be put in by the machine. I will not be putting anything in. I might occasionally scalp, but I'll let you know if I do that. But the next trade that you see go in will be put in by the machine. I don't know the outcome here. We're not going to be on all morning. At least I don't expect that. But this YouTube does take our resources a little bit, and we want to be able to use all the resources we can on the computer. But it is your chance to ask any questions, your chance to visit the site, your chance to call if you're so inclined. This isn't for everybody. That may be it's probably not the message that most people are sending. Most people are probably saying, yeah, you get in for an hour a day and you're going to make $1,000 every single day. Not exactly. Okay, and that we're in again. So I'm going to answer your question there, Howard, in a moment. Let me just get eyes on this. So let me read Howard's question. Hey, Caddy, again, if I would like to use this option with options, could I? This seems like a day trading HFT tool. My investment style is more swing focused. I see the SMC swing machine there on top. Yes. So to answer the question, yes. I mean, we most certainly trade options, right? So you can use, and this isn't so this tool here, Swing Machine Plus, is one of about 65 proprietary tools. So it's just one. It's not the only one. It's not the only radar that we have. We have radars that are specifically built just for options. But could you use Swing Machine Plus in a for options? Definitely. And so do the easiest thing is I could showcase, I could put in some symbols. Do you have a symbol, a stock symbol that you're interested in? And if it's options, you can tell me the time frame. We can change the time frames a little bit, and we'll plug it in, and we'll show you. We'll show you how Swing Machine would have played it or be playing it. Okay, and we just took a hit there. I did not take that out, by the way. The machine did that. We're gonna just let the machine do its thing here. And then I have other things. The QQQ. Sure. All right. So let's plug in here QQQ. And do you have a an interval that you like to trade the QQQs? If you're using, and so we're on a little bit of a delay. So I'm going to give Howard a chance to let me know his interval of choice. Zero to 7 day. Okay, so if you're trading 0 day to 7 day options, you're going to want to be inside. You don't want to be trading it at a 1 minute level or a 5 minute level. Um, Namely, too, and the cues are very liquid, but a lot of options they aren't. But I wouldn't want to be trading it on a daily basis either, because that's a little bit too. So where I would want to be trading the QQQs would be on an hourly basis. But I want to also get the purse now. This purse is calculating futures, right? Right. And the reason why, by the way, we trade futures is because we are trading them intraday, and they're highly leveraged and they're highly liquid. So if I want to get the purse to calculate the cues for what I'm trading, I'm going to come up here, and just to showcase this, what I can do is I can edit, and I can change it from futures. This is going to change the purse from futures to stocks, and then I can put this. I'm going to put this as not 100,000, but as $10,000. Or let's see, $10,000. So we'll put that as a block of 10,000. Now, if you're trading a hit this, if you're trading options, then it would be you wouldn't be using 10,000. You'd be using an option contract, which be 1 or 2 contracts. So we look at the cues on, happens to be on a 1 minute. So it did in fact go short 32 minutes ago. And let's just look here. That is something doesn't look right. Okay, that doesn't look quite right to me for a moment. But let's just change this to a 60-minute view on the cues. So on a 60-minute view, the cues actually are long, 7. It's actually 7 hours ago. So what's also different is that it's when we go to to stocks, we're not obviously trading in the overnight session. So the last signal here was on a 60-minute was long at 375 at 11:30 yesterday. And if you had traded $10,000 in the cues, let's make sure I have that purse. That purse doesn't seem quite right to me, but let me make sure I get that right. True stocks 10,000. Yep. Okay. So it hasn't done a whole lot of anything, but you can, and so you could change the interval, and let's just see what it is on a daily. Let's just see. On a daily basis, it actually, we have it long at 10 days ago on the 29th. So we haven't gone anyplace. But you can. I'm going to put if you have any other stock symbols that you would want to see, let me know. And I'll wait. If you wanted to see like NVIDIA, just plug in some stock symbols. So on NVIDIA, as an example, Swing Machine would have gone long 166 days ago. Long, it's dipping. It would have gone long at this price, at this time, on that date, and it's dipping on a daily basis. And using 10,000, you'd be up 16,000. But let's take NVIDIA, let's drop it down, and maybe Howard wants to. How about Tesla? Sure, let's do Tesla too. We'll just take it. So let's say Howard wants to trade NVIDIA on a 60, he wants to trade stocks. So NVIDIA on an hour, on a 60 minutes, so he wants to get inside the daily trader. And so he would have gone short, Swing Machine would have gone short 29 60-minute segments ago, or at 10:30 back on the 6th. And he would have gone short at 468.80. If he was trading $10,000, which he wouldn't be doing, he'd be up $300. But he would have been trading stocks, I'm sorry, options, and you would have taken it from 470 down to 450. Now this is just the signal itself. There are other determinants here in Swing Machine that can give you quite a bit of information. Let's put in Tesla. We'll just go the other way. Now let's just put Tesla in. So here's Tesla. This is kind of interesting. This is 8 hours ago. 8 hours ago. Now see, it's stretching back, it's saying 8 hours, but this is 8 trading hours, right? So it's more hours than that. And it went long. That's kind of crazy, huh? At 264.33 yesterday. Yeah, that's quite a bit, right? So $10,000, you're picking up 4 or 5%. So you would have, if Howard had picked up a call option yesterday at 10:30 at 264, he's looking pretty damn good. Now let's look at it on a daily basis, though, Howard. So this, I'm not trying to say, that he's going to get every single one right, but let me show you the versatility in the tool on this particular tool. So we put it on a daily basis. And so I've been monitoring Tesla. So Tesla on a daily basis went long 9 days ago. That's kind of in your sweet spot at 256.90 on the 30th. It's delivered 7%. So, a call option at 256, a call option that was for 20 or 30 days and you're 9 days in, you're looking good. Now, but let's come across, though, there's so much more that Swing Machine is doing. This is all without having to look at a chart, by the way. And Howard, when we trade options, we don't even look at a chart. Don't need to. Options are all math. And you will do, I think, I don't want to say anybody, I think you will do much, much better in trading options if you just trade the math and don't look at a chart. That may seem like heresy, but it is. So on a daily basis, we look here, it's been long 9 days. The trend is certainly up, but see where she is. She's up here at 80 on our fear and greed meter. This isn't where I would want to be initiating. And I don't know if they got earnings or not, too, by the way. They might have some earnings coming out, but I wouldn't want to be initiating along, but I wouldn't want to be shorting it either, right? And if I am long, I'm just going to ride it. But if she gets up into euphoria, that would be the area that you would want to begin to think about getting your cash in the boat, or for aggressive traders, fading it. But you just don't fade it. You wouldn't, Howard, if you're an option trader, the way I would fade that is if she got into euphoria, if she does, I wouldn't just short the shares. I would go upstream from where she is and maybe sell a call and turn around and buy a call, do a call credit spread, and really look at it run like a son of a bitch, though, huh? Boy, it is running. Look at it go. Speaking of, it's going to get into, on a daily basis, get into euphoria. I have no idea what's going on with Tesla, but now where Howard asked, let me show you something else, Howard. I want to, how many people, and by the way, we're just letting the machine do its thing. Now, who would have thought, it didn't look like the market was going to run this morning, did it? If you got another stock you want us to punch in, let me know. This is our baby, so we love showing the baby off. Now maybe if your options are 0 to 7 days, maybe you want to use 120 hours. Maybe you want to use 240, but I probably wouldn't use daily, right? It's just too broad. Why not get inside? Let's get inside these guys, right? So let me show you something else when it comes to our stocks. And I invite you, how many people are willing to show you this? But I am, bear with me here. And I'm not focusing on that trade. Well, the way that we'll trade is we'll have the robot trading and he's putting us in, and then I will occasionally scalp it, but I'm just going to let it run right now. All right, so let me show you this tool. I'm going to show you a few tools. This is crazy good. All right, so let me, at the risk, I'm gonna bring into view, if I can do this here without losing everybody. We have some additional tools that we show people at night. And I want to show you, all right, so here is the swing machine. Here is swing machine. This blue represents stock, right? So it's measuring. So I've just inserted here. This is the S&P 500, and this is swing machine. The exact same thing that you're seeing, on an intraday basis. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to show you, I am going to show you all 500 stocks, but I'm going to sort the purse. And the purse is set up to calculate $10,000. So that our top stock is in fact NVIDIA. Then it's also, I don't know what the world this is, FICO, never even heard of it. So take out one for the label row, and out of 500 stocks, pay attention to this column, right? Now these are days old, right? This is days old, but how many, we're long and short. Out of 500 stocks, how many are we in the money? Now, I don't know anyone else. We can show you all 500 at a glance, how we're positioned, long or short, with the trend information, where we are in the fair gauge, and we are right here. Out of 500 stocks, we're profitable in 430. We're down in these two. Now, the yellow ones, they're triggering today. That's what that means. So out of 448 or so, 447, we are either up or flat. And then, yes, we are experiencing drawdowns. And the worst drawdown is this thing. Now, does Swing Machine get every single trade right? No. But what he does is he will get in and stay in. He will get out or stay out. He will, and if he's wrong, he will get out. Humans don't do that. That's one tool. That's Swing Machine. But let me show you another tool. This one is crazy good if you like to trade stocks. So this tool we used, and this is like 15 years old. We used this before Swing Machine. So let me show you this. I got to scroll across here. It's called the Pebble Beach. It's right here. Bear with me. Oh, I'm trying to see it here. Oh, here it is here. So I was out of sequence. All right. This is a fantastic tool. This is called SMC. So I'm superimposing it over Swing Machine here. But Howard, it's called SMC, Trade Generator Pebble Beach Triggers. This is a radar that we built 15 years ago, because I also used to just trade stocks and options, and we still do, but um, we just don't showcase this much. These triggers that you're seeing here today are also, well, let me show you. Qualcomm, a buy, entry price 107.07 today. The stop 105.51. So let's just look at Qualcomm. Now, I don't know if you could have, okay, I don't know why it's not updating. When I click on this, it should automatically update the chart, but let me punch it in. For some reason, it isn't. Sometimes my computer gets a little, yeah, it's getting a little angry. So, yeah, it's stuck. So I can't update the chart right now. Now, I don't know if it gapped up or, for sure that you could have gotten that price. You could better tell me, but more often than not, you can. But what I wanted to show you is we're getting signals to buy and sell. And out of 500 stocks, let me show you how many signals we've gotten today. Okay, so we've had, got to take out the label row. We have had 22 23 signals, and we're profitable in every single one. You can see it. Let me scroll down. There they are, 22 signals, and we're profitable in every single one. It's not unusual at all. This is a really, really good tool. So you like to trade options and you want to trade options, Swing Machine is very good, but this tool is really, really good. And we got others as well. We don't use moving averages to speak of, but we know everyone else does. So this tool can give us a glimpse of everything that is what percentage over or under the 5-day, 10, 20, 50, 20 EMA, and we can sort it. So the stock's really running. And we said this last night, this nectar. We said this to our members last night that have monthly members, is to watch this thing. This thing is really, it's highly liquid and it can really move. But these are the stocks trying to pull the market up. Now Amazon at one, now also two, let me show you, I almost forgot. All right, so if you like to trade options, now let me also, I'm not seeing the YouTube, so you may have other questions. Cool, I have been to Pebble Beach. Oh, beautiful. Yep. Have you played it? And let me show you, if you like to play, we have something that we call the options club selector. Okay, so let me explain to you what this is. Okay, so this is a busy view you're getting because I'm superimposing another radar on here for Howard. All right, so this, okay, so I'm going to put that over that. This thing is called the SMC Options Defined Risk Club Selector Radar. This is very, very good. Nope, not really a golfer. Love going to Montreal. It's beautiful. In fact, that's where we were on September 10th of 2001, 22 years ago. We were, the morning of, we were out in Carmel. This is scanning the S&P 500. Options, Howard, if you've been trading options, and then you probably already know all this. They're based on, you've got to get the direction right. You've got to get the timing right. And you've also got to get the implied volatility right. Those are all math. So Susan's very good at math. Susie, Let's write us the formula. So this is choosing out of the whole S&P 500. It is telling us that FMC, please don't trade these, right? But it tells us FMC might be interesting for a call. This one here would be a call debit spread. This one here called debit spread. That is based on the pricing. Now, you don't have to. You could do a call debit spread. You could do a put credit spread if you wanted to. You could do whatever you want to do. But we just took another trade there. I did not do that. The machine did that. But that's what it's doing. It's very good. And then over on this side, it's telling us, let me slide this over. This would be, buying puts, selling call credit spreads, or buying put debit spreads. And there they are. And so on something like Microsoft, we were actually, and it's down today, but it would have been there last night. For our monthly members, we're telling us, that you might want to be on Microsoft, you'd want to be selling a call credit spread. Tesla is actually showing up now saying that you might want to buy a put debit spread with Tesla. As option traders, we're almost always counter traders. And then if you want to do iron condors, oh, I'm sorry, there were actually more. I'm sorry, I didn't sort that right. So here are the longs. There's actually more longs. So we got put credit spreads, calls, or debit spreads. And then on the short side, we'll be here. And then if you want the iron condors, you just sort this one. And then these would be the best candidates for iron condors. So not only are we finding you real time, the opportunities, the best opportunities, we're also helping you decide. You don't have to go with that configuration. You might do something different. And of course, you might go down on the delta to, get, change the the probabilities of profit too. That makes sense? So, but everything we do, it's just very mechanical. I should put the purse back too, by the way. But if there's any other stock that you want, let me know. I can plug it in. So I'll just put this back to ES Z 23. Put this back to 1 minute. And I'm going to put the purse now back to a option configuration. We just come in here and we just change this to futures. And the reason why we're trading futures is intraday, they're highly liquid and leveraged, and we can get in and get out what we need to do is the plan. And if we're going to go further out, if we're going to go overnight, go from 0 days, and we will do 0 DTEs to, our sweet spot on options is usually 35 to 45 days. That's kind of what we like to do. And we like to sell credit spreads and we like to sell put spreads. And that's some of the tools that we'll use. I hope that answered your question a little bit, but thanks. Gives us a chance to showcase a little bit. All right, so we're experiencing a little bit of a dry down, and we had a chance to intervene. And so we will, sometimes I just let the machine just run its course, or I could intervene. But market's still pretty choppy here, so we'll see what we got. Okay, I just intervened on that a little bit here. We're dead in the middle in this opening range here, and we're gonna just my computer's a little slow. When we're taping these sessions for our members as well, and then between the YouTube and Zoom, and it kind of slows things down a little bit. All right, so we get the machine back on. But you know, I was, your ears may have been burning, Howard. I was addressing yeah, the way we set this up, Howard, is we basically have two levels of membership. We have a monthly membership, which and it's month to month, right? So you get some added video explanations of our tools, and you get a video view of all the algos. We try to present them in pretty much the same way every night. We try to post that about 9 o'clock. If you're an options trader and have some experience and understand what you're doing, it's beautiful because you're going to have dozens and dozens of objective, consistent trade opportunities just presented. It isn't me drawing trend lines. It isn't me giving an opinion. It's just, it is what it is. And we have unlimited number of monthly members, and it's ideal, and it would be, and it's just that video view is from Sunday through Thursday. Sunday is no more than an hour. It's about an hour. And the rest of the night, it's any nights could be anywhere from 15 minutes to no more than an hour, maybe 30 minutes. May not see it every night, but you'll know what side the market is on. You'll have dozens of opportunities to choose from, and you'll know how and where they're coming from. For the person that wants to become an annual member, whether they're trading options or futures, and want these tools, all the tools that I just showed you, and all the tools that we have on their desktop, you can get them, but a person does need to go through what we call a Q school. It's a one-time thing. Go through it, make sure that it's what you want, and then at the end of that Q school, we'll credit back 30% of the cost, and the person would join as an annual member, and then they get all those tools. But to be an annual member, not necessarily for a Q school, but for an annual member, a person would need to be at TradeStation at that point to be able to use all the tools. Don't have to trade at TradeStation, but you would need their platform to activate the tools. And your costs never go up. And from one year to the next, the cost actually drops down, and then we give you a month free for every year you've been with us going forward for the second year, up to 6 months. So in effect, you have the opportunity, and we have members that virtually have virtually cut their the cost in half. And it works because they become more independent in they're underway. But we've been told, and I know this, you shouldn't do the Q school because it's too much time, and you'd have a lot more members if you just that's probably the case, but we would also have probably more headaches if folks don't understand how to use them, and we don't have the opportunity to explain how it is we came to build the things that we have. And so that's why we do it. We deliberately slow it down. So, and that's fine. We don't have thousands and thousands. Bit of a miracle that you found us. So. Now, for instance, on NVIDIA, NVIDIA was an interesting, and we made this one public. NVIDIA was trading at $470 going into earnings. It was their earnings afternoon. And on a daily basis, it was in euphoria. And we said, we're not going to buy calls on NVIDIA up here. So what we did was we said, and the machine was telling us that we should be selling a call credit spread. But, so we didn't do it right at the money. We have another tool that can give us the expected move from the options market. So we do a lot with options, using as tools. So we knew that, and again, we put this on a tweet, you can see it, that the expected move of NVIDIA was 22 points the next day. So what we did was we went up on the option stream and we sold a call. As I remember, I think we sold I think it was a 505 call. 505 call. This is about for 35 to 40 some odd days, and about 40 days. We sold the 505 and we took a portion of that money and we bought a 515 further up, a call credit spread. Now, not trying to hit a home run, give ourselves plenty of time. The earnings come out and she shoots up, as you know, to like 500. But we were fine. I mean, it was all math. And the next day she traded down about 22 points. We went right back to 470. And then, where is she now? At 450 or so. That call credit spread, we've since closed it out, but was golden. It was pure math. It had anything to do with their chips. It didn't have anything to do with the chart. And I certainly wasn't listening to Dan Nathan on CNBC. God, those guys are terrible. They are absolutely terrible. I'm sorry. If anybody's listening to them, I listen to them occasionally just to, I don't know, it's a little masochistic, they're awful. Okay, so I didn't put that trade in. Let's see if we can ride this down here. NVIDIA, we'll just plug in NVIDIA. I wouldn't be shorting it now. No, I don't want it on a 1 minute. I want it on a daily. Let's take a look at the daily. She's at 40, so she could go much, much lower, right? But and she may not get there, right? And much of this game, the trading game, is waiting for things to get to where they need to get to. What can be exacerbating to you is that if you don't have a tremendous amount of time to be sitting in front of a screen, or you don't have your tools set up properly, you miss them. They go through the screen. They go through your filters, and you'll wind up not getting them when you need to get them. So NVIDIA, for us, in order for us to want to trade NVIDIA on a daily basis, it's going to need to get into panic sell. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, but that's where I would prefer to see it. If it does, then we'll buy it. But I won't probably just buy a call. The machine will help us, but I'd probably go downstream and sell a put credit spread for 35 or 45 days. Now, those aren't real sexy. Those aren't real, big, you're not gonna, they're not going to grab headlines selling put credit spreads and call credit spreads. But if you're doing them mechanically and religiously and staying very, very disciplined, you're going to get the job done. You're really going to get the job done. But it's a question of, getting your tools set up so that they're presenting them to you, every night or every day, and exactly what it is you're doing. So when NVIDIA on a daily was the mean on NVIDIA going into earnings, when it was at 470, we were in euphoria, and the mean was 450. And we said that the likelihood that NVIDIA, even after earnings was going to trade back to, the mean of 450 was like 95%. You can go back and see some of our videos on it. And it did. So any case, um, let's put back ESZ. Now, the machine is trading for me and putting the trades in. There's just no way in hell I could be chatting with you and talking about NVIDIA and focusing on a trade here, right? But so this thing is doing its thing. So makes sense. So we're not presenting these tools. Where I was started to go with Howard was, and I get it, if somebody's passing through and seeing this and like, we're not presenting this as a holy grail or this is automatic. It's just a tool. It's how we work. And it's just really, really good. But you need to be taught how we built it, how it came to be, and all these tools. We try to explain how they work, and then you need to just go slow. If anyone else has any other questions, now I could intervene, right? But I'm not going to. Um, yeah, this looks very, now I have another view, all right? We have other screens. So, and we do look at charts, right? I do have charts. They're intraday charts and they're price-based charts. They're not time-based. They're price-based. So, by the way, Howard, I don't know what kind of charts, if when I say when it comes to options, you know, we don't, when it comes to options, daily, weekly, 95% of the time, we're not looking at a chart. But if we do look at a chart, we're going to look at a price-based chart. So we're not going to use time. So we're going to use point and figure. We're going to use Rinko, classic Rinko, custom Rinko, range bars, line break, that sort of chart. Intraday with futures, we do use charts. And the programs are using charts. This program here is running a point and figure chart. And, so, I mean, so you could, potentially use some price-based charts with your options and have programs running and teeing them up for you. I think that finding the right trades when they're ripe is maybe 95% of this, right? So this market, turned very quickly. My background, I am not from Wall Street, right? There's nobody more cynical about those birds than me, right? The Dan Nathans of the world, the Giadamis. I'm sure they're very nice guys and they're great guys to have a beer with or something, although I don't even drink. Um, but I have, I mean, thank God I didn't come from that industry. And if you're in that industry, I'm sorry. I spent 25 years of my life with surgeons, teaching them how to work with some of the most advanced instrumentation of the day. Um, don't ask me how, but that's what I wound up doing. I always had an interest in the markets. So this isn't something that I discovered late in life. I've been doing this since Susan and I had a complete, apartment set, right? We had IRA accounts before we had a living room set. So truthfully, I've always had an interest. We couldn't do what we wanted to do until after 2000. Um, when you spend time with surgeons or in surgery, they don't deviate a whole lot, right? They don't go from one patient to another to another. You know what? Let's do it this way, Don. Let's do it that way. They don't change. They do the same damn thing over and over and over again. And there's reasons for that. And they're surgeons, but they're tracking, you may not know this, but surgeons track their results, by the way. They're great business people. Many of them are more business minded than surgical minded. They love their surgery, but they're very, very slow to change. My job was to change their surgical technique ever so slightly. And it might take months. It might take, a long time. Um, then there's a lot of things, but I always thought, like, wouldn't it be wonderful, Susan, if we could trade the markets with surgical precision? I'm tired of winging. I don't want to be listening to Giadami. I don't want to be listening to Dan Nathan. You don't want to be listening to me, tell you some bullshit story about some bullshit stock. Who cares? You want to get in and make your money and get out. That's what we want to do. We want to have a good, surgical outcome. And that's what it's born from. We couldn't, unfortunately, I knew what I wanted to do before 2000, but we didn't have the technology. We didn't even have the industry. But after 2000, we had both. We had the technology, we have the industry because the costs were down. And it was at that time that Susan and I had stepped aside and said, this is what we're going to do. Now, we set out to do it for ourselves, not to build Stock Market Caddy. That was never even a dream. That was never even a thought. It wasn't. Stock Market Caddy came out of the ground in 2012 simply because we were bored. I'm bored, was bored. I mean, it gets pretty boring trading like this. I mean, day in and day out. Um, you know, so it's nice to meet Howard and to answer questions and to showcase and to have a chance to say this is what we're doing and how and why and it keeps life interesting. Okay, I did not take that. The machine took that trade. I was getting close to, but the machine took it. And we're trading with other machines, right? You know that, right? you know, they've been doing this, folks, for decades. They were doing this in the 70s and the 80s. The Paul Tudor Jones and those birds. They were using machines, folks. CNBC is their fake news. Okay, I took that little profit there. And I'm going to let you watch and I'll answer some questions, but I actually have to prepare for later in the day. And so I'm going to turn the strategy off and I'm going to demonstrate some discipline. All right. We're in the house with 576.80. Could we have made more? Probably. Could you have made more? Probably, but we're in. And if you're saying, oh, he's cheating, I know what he's doing. I know what that little bastard's doing. Excuse me. When he gets ahead, Martha, when he gets ahead, he then shuts off his machine. And then he lets us sit there and watch it the rest of the day. I know what he's doing. What kind of a trick is that? Well, it is cheating. It is. They won't let you do that in Vegas. You can do that. You don't need to trade all day. You don't. You don't want to over leverage. You don't want to over trade. You need to stay patient, stay disciplined, stay in a groove. Can you be patient? Can you find something else to do with your day? I got plenty to do. Stock Market Caddy keeps me really busy doing other things sometimes, so it's good at teaching others. I don't need to, I'm probably not in the market nearly as much as you might think I might be. And so the program is off. I'm going to let you watch Swing Machine. There won't be any more trades in the upper left. We'll let you watch up until probably it's 10:30. I'll let you watch up until about noon. Ask any questions you want. And I'm happy to plug in anything. I would, if you're interested in writing something down, let's look at oil. Let me show you something. I'm going to change oil to a daily basis. Now, everyone's bullish oil. Now is not the time to be bullish oil. Oil is at 80. Very well likely on a daily basis to get into euphoria, but it may not. If you had gone long oil 47 days ago at 73.44 and you had put an oil contract on, yeah, you're up 15 grand. If Howard, I'm not sure what would the oil contract would be these days. USO doesn't really track oil that well, but if you had gotten an oil contract on, 60 days ago, that would have been the place to do it. Can it go higher? Yeah, probably going to get to 90, right? But into euphoria. But the likelihood that oil moves back down to 84 is starting to increase. So as an option trader, I would begin to think about fading oil. Now, how you might do that is any number of ways. I mean, you could buy a put, sure. You could, you could do a put debit spread, but I think the best option would be, look to sell some credit spreads on some of the oil sector stocks that are probably up in euphoria. The probability of, and this is again all math when you're doing options, the probability, I mentioned the probability that was going to come back to the mean on a daily, by the way, we're back down to a 1 minute, but was 95%. But you also have a probability of profit depending upon your option trading on how you structure those options. And you want to know what that probability of profit is. When you buy a call or buy a put, the probability of profit is about 33%, meaning you're going to probably lose 2 out of 3 times. If you do credit spreads, your probability of profit goes up to 66%. That's why we do them. And Susan does, I'm like, man, these things win all the time. It makes her feel good. I'm going to win all the time. And we're just trying to, with options, we're just trying to get in the neighborhood, right? We're just trying to get in the vicinity. When we're trading futures like this, we're threading the needle. We're trading very, very precisely. Now, Susan's background too, by the way, I married up. Susan worked for cut her teeth at Lotus Software, and then IBM, and then back to Lotus because IBM bought Lotus. But so she has the programming background, and she also has superb math background. Superb. So in the early days, and even today, when we run into something that we're trying to program, Susan has the skill set to write the math formulas. So for instance, the expected move. Let me just show you. Let me bring into view this. This is a very cool thing. I didn't show you the expected move. If you're an options trader, so now we can use this. So much we can show you. Bear with me here. I'm going to bring this into view. We have something called the expected move radar. And see, once we know how options are priced, there's a formula for options. They got the Nobel Prize for it. And I don't know if they've really figured something out, or the options market just took their Nobel Prize and priced them accordingly. But what I asked Susan to do, I said, well, Susie, if we know what the formula is, then can you work the math to give me what the expected move would be in options? So here's the S&P 500. The 1-day percentage move, the stock's expected to make, and we knew this last night, the stock's expected to make the biggest 1%, the biggest percentage move today in a day of these stocks. Right here. If I want to know over the next 15 days, who's going to make the biggest percentage move, it's some of the same stocks, but some of it could be something new. Now, it does not give us direction. It doesn't. It just tells us this is what the options market is pricing in, but there's a lot that we can do with that. And right now, the SPY is moving from day to day about 0.86%. That's not moving a whole lot. And then over the 30-day, I want to know what stocks are expected to make. Now, I don't know what in the world's going on with this one. This is the gap, but this thing, I don't know if it's going to get bought out, but it's very, somebody is expecting this thing to make a really big move over the next 30 days. It's expected to move 30%. The fact that it's 10 or 11 bucks, probably up. Tesla, I don't know what in the world's going on with Tesla, but Tesla's got, expected to move 21%. Now, based on where Tesla is, I'm going to think this would be contrarian, that I'm going to do better fading it, because, she's pushing up into, as we saw earlier, up into euphoria. So maybe I don't just go in and buy a put at 274. Maybe we go up and sell a call at 300 or 290. Would have to price that out, and then turn around, take a portion of that and buy a call further and sell a credit spread, and let all the the option traders go have a feeding frenzy, and then when it pulls back, we'll make our money. Is NVIDIA. But this tool comes from from Susan and her ability to take the math and work it. It's public formula, and make it practical. So I don't have to listen to Guy Adami or Dan Nathan. I listen to those ass clowns. God almighty. Jesus. Ugh. Or Kramer. I mean, he's a clown, right? All right, so we're gonna let you watch, and we can take a look. We'll mark up Swing Machine here a little bit. The VIX isn't really. It's almost like they've turned it off here, which I think sometimes they do. I mean, it's not moving. Something's not right here. Let's make sure that thing. Look at that thing. It is not. It is not moving at all. I swear, I think they turn it off sometimes. Okay, so she's trying to get long now. So if the VIX is going to get long, this market's going to continue down. So, and she's trying to do it right now. She's responding to the market. So I'm going to mark this up a little bit. So don't trade any of this, but let me just show you what we're looking at. So with the VIX increasing, that's telling me the options market is getting really defensive here. They're losing there. And so let's just mark this up on a 5-minute interval. You can certainly trade 1 minutes, but there's a technique. So the 5-minute is getting short almost right now, right here at 10:25. And then the NQ is trying to get short. Now, these may not succeed, right? They may not. So don't go putting on trades here. We don't have the time to showcase and teach you how to work this and how to trade, and the Russell's kind of dipping. Gold is trying to get long right now. And then oil, oil looks like it just needs to touch 90, But I still think that, the call is going to be, so I'd be, stocking the oil, and I'll wait, right? So when I have something like that, when I see oil on a daily basis getting really, really extended, then I'll stock it, and I'll just wait, and I'll set the machines on oil, and when they start tripping off going, which they're not, then I'll take it back. But then, so a lot of what we're doing is, we have all these different programs, plenty of them, and we set them up and then wait, set them, to trip off. In the meantime, though, we ran this program overnight. It was profitable, a little bit more. It drew down, and then we were talking to Howard, and I got a little distracted, and it drew down to $300. No big deal. And then, yeah, we quit when we're ahead, and we're done. We're done. We'll come back and we'll do it again, either tonight or early tomorrow morning. We have zero tolerance for negative outliers too, by the way, zero tolerance for negative outliers. And we can go in and look at the performance characteristics of these trades over the last few weeks, last few months, and they always vary, right? But when no one trade should make you rich. It's not likely, right? There's stories of it, and they're big trades, and we all remember them. But the vast majority of our trades, no one trade is going to make me rich. If no one trade is going to make me rich, then no one trade should make me poor. So you need to learn to trade in proportion. And I literally can't remember the trades that we, maybe yesterday, but like last week, I can't even remember them. I have scorecards, but So you don't want to be, get emotionally invested in all the, trying to hit the big ball. It's not what we're doing. That's for CNBC. That's for, the guru, the internet gurus, that's not what we're doing. Nope. Also, how do you keep score? If you're keeping score on just the money, um, in fact, I want to pull up our score if I can here. If you are keeping track on just the money, then you may or may not realize it, but you'll be trading greed and fear. So I can tell you at a glance, since midnight, how many trades did we have? We had 18 trades. Machine had 18 trades. And the percent profitable, 50%. Right? My profit factor, though, do you know what a profit factor is? Gross profit divided by gross loss was narrow, 1.29. It's really narrow. But a machine was doing it, so I don't really care. But if I had to stay up all night and trade 18 times and lose 9 and have a profit factor of 1.29 to make $500, I'd have to go take a nap. I'd be burnt out. I'd be spent. I'd be stressed. Right? That would be really, really hard to do. But I'm not spent. I'm not stressed because I asked the machine to do it. We're trying to, everybody begins this trading game in the same box. And what box is that, Bagger? Where can I draw this? Let me see. I draw a little box. They start in a little box. Discretionary trading. I put a D in there. They are trading what they see, what they hear, what they think. It's important to have good discretionary trading skills, but it can be difficult. They run into problems, they lose their confidence, and then they start trading what other people see, hear, or think. Dan Nathan, he thinks it's a really good time to sell NVIDIA, when it was trading at, $180, literally 220. A little lost your ass, right? But that's where most people begin and end. What we try to do is move everybody into this box. So let me draw this out for you. So this is D. This box is M. And we're trying to move everybody, excuse this for being so small, but we're trying to move everybody this way. What's the M box? Mechanical. We want you to turn off CNBC. We want you to get rid of the TV. We want you to get rid of all the gurus. Be honest with you, we got so many tools, you don't have time to listen to any of the other shit. You just don't. You're going to get rid of it. You're going to get rid of the IBD. You're going to get rid of the Wall Street Journal. You're going to get rid of all your other subscriptions. You just don't need it. But if you want to keep it around for a little, do. But you're going to learn to trade mechanically. For instance, Swing Machine Plus. But we got other ways. There's a number of ways to trade this, right? a number of ways to trade this, quite a few ways. We don't have the time today to go in, but we go through this in Q School, and we get you trading it. We get you to do it. Well, you get yourself to do it. Mechanically is, so we're leaving the world of discretionary trading behind. Important they have this, and we will work with a person to make sure that they have good discretionary skill, but we try to get them more mechanical. Then the next box is the more fun box. I'll draw it in. Make this box here. What's that box? That box is R. For robotic trading, what we did today, what we did last night, wasn't that fun? I didn't have to put anything on. The machine put them all on. You shitting me, Don? I mean, I had a gentleman say last week, the machine literally puts it in? Yeah, it puts it in. You have to authorize it. TradeStation has you have to sign off on all your disclosures, but it actually puts them in. And it can take them out. You're kidding me. I did not know I could do that. Yeah, you can. I mean, no, but garbage in, garbage out, but it is liberating. So all these trades, by the way, we're not trading swing machine right here, right now, but, we highlighted this, right? The VIX is going up. This one went off at 1025. Could we have programmed the machine to take that trade and you'd be up 250? Yes, absolutely. Could we have programmed it to take this one here at 1030? I mean, we highlighted this, 500. Yes. So what we're trying to do during our Q School is to begin to, we want to discuss what you've been doing in here, discretionary trading. We want to help you become a better discretionary trader. Then we're going to start working on your mechanical skills. Then we're going to start moving you this way, doing this way, toward robotic trading. See, most of our members live between, they do a little of this, but they live mostly between here and here. So so the robot, what is the difference? Well, last night, in order to get that money, the robot was trading. But I told you, I made a decision when to turn it on. I made a decision when to turn it off. I intervened a couple of times. I didn't take the loss. I didn't take an entry. I let the machine handle that. I intervened and took a couple of the profits. I cheated. That would be mechanical. So I can run it fully robotic, or I can use my mechanical skill, and I can go back and forth. Pretty cool. And then there's yet another box. What the hell is that? What else could there be? I don't understand. And this is where, actually, I'll make it a circle. I'll tell you what, we'll stay with the box. So this box is, what is in that box? It's RH, robotic hedging. Now, we're doing this with futures, but why do you hedge? Well, you hedge to, the big reason why we hedge is to reduce the volatility in our account, but you can also be hedging because it's more cost effective too. Now, Howard trades options. Howard hedges all the time. He's doing spreads, some kind. I don't know if he's doing debit spreads or credit spreads, but so if it's good enough for the options market, it's definitely very good for us. So let's go here. So we go back and forth. Well, that's really cool, Don. It is cool. But there's no jumping the shark. Okay. We can't go from here to this. We can't go from here. You can't skip these steps. You can't do it because I'll borrow something maybe from, and I'm not a pilot, but JFK thought he had some good, mechanical flight lessons, right? You know, and he got himself a pretty high performance, aircraft, JFK Jr. And then one afternoon on a, summer day, late summer day, he thought he could fly the girls out to those islands. It was a clear day. He didn't have instrument training, but what's the big deal? But he got off of Cape Cod, and I'm not from the Cape, I'm from Boston. Susan's from the Cape. Cape Cod in the summertime the sky gets really hazy. The water's cold, the air is warm. And he got himself, God forbid, he got himself into the haze and he couldn't see up from down. What a horrible, horrible position. He had a case of vertigo. And he had a high performance aircraft and he was over his skill set. And he took himself out. Horrible. You can't run robotic systems yet if you haven't honed these skills, and then you've got to hone here. There's no shortcut. It takes time. And then the robotic hedging is where you spend the rest of your life. And it's a blast. Why he didn't have a pilot with him or something, and he learned, and he would, still be flying around. But in any case, not but that's what we try to do during the Q school. And there's no shortcuts. And we want you to be proficient at choosing stocks for the long term. Dare I say investing? We're going to go over that. How do you do that? And then we're going to go over, the other markets. We want you to be diversified in what you have available to you. Not diversified in what you're holding, but diversified in what you're capable of doing. Options are definitely a big part of what we do. And I think you should be proficient at trading options. But I also think you should be, if you're an options trader and you're not trading futures, I think you're missing something. Options are not open 24 hours. What if you put on a nice big fat option and something comes out afterwards and you have no way of hedging yourself? So you can use the futures markets to hedge some of your options overnight and protect some of your profits, just as one example. But if you're not familiar, you're not set up, never taken the time to learn futures, then, you can't do that. You don't have the skill set, and you're going to be stuck listening to Guy Adami and Dan Nathan every night. I think it's time. How about Steve Grasso? He's another beauty, isn't he? He waits for everything to get trashed. I think I'm going to buy Apple. I'm going to buy Apple. Yeah, he isn't buying shit. He ain't buying anything with his money. He's buying it with other people's money, and he ain't buying shit. If he's buying it with one share. It's nonsense. They're nonsensical. Get away from them. And I'm not giving you any of that. No. And we highlighted this just minutes ago, right? This all happened with you guys here, on a 5-minute basis. Does Swing Machine get all of them right? No, it doesn't. It gets them wrong. And we can drill down. So we can take this program and we can put it on to a chart over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months. And we can look at the trading characteristics. We can tell you what the average run-ups were, what the average rundowns were. We can tell you, but I am not saying here today with the folks that are here that if you automatically take every single 5-minute trade, that you are going to be successful and you're automatically going to make money. No, it isn't. I wish it was that simple, but it isn't that simple. It's pretty simple, but it isn't that simple. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to learn anything. You would just plug something in and, like the Roomba, and it would just go vacuum up the floor, right? You can't do that. That makes sense? If there's anybody's got any questions. But these are the 4 styles of trading. So most people, though, begin and end right here in discretionary. They never learn what they want to do. They never, And that's okay. I mean, there'll be more. There's always more. It's amazing. You know, right after the dot-com crash, there's another crop of people. And after the '08 crash, there's another crop. And then the crypto, and there's another crop. They just keep coming. It's just, they just keep coming. And they believe what they believe. And, you know, I'm not out to change anyone's belief systems. I'm not at all. I'm just trying to show you what we do and how we look at it, how we approach it. And if it resonates with you, we're prepared to share with you how we go about it, and we're prepared to share with you the tools. You can take all of these tools and do so much with it and trade them in ways that are different than us. And we don't discourage anybody from doing that. That's a good idea. We do lean on trying to go for the trends, but if you want to be a counter trend trader, you know, that's fine. There are only 4 ways to trade. Oops, let's not use the arrow. Do you know what they are? 4 ways. You can trend follow long. You can counter trend short. You can trend follow short, or you can counter trend long. That's it. You can only trade those ways. That's all you can do. Yeah, I know. I go after the trend. That's the trend. The trends. Okay, but I wish it was that simple, but I'll try to, I'll share this with you. Number of folks here. It's important to know the characteristics of those 4 different types of trading. And why? Because before you put a trade on, or when you put a trade on, if you don't know what type of trade you're putting on, then you don't know what the trading characteristics of that trade are going to be. And you're going to be, if you don't know what to expect, you're going to be anxious, right? You can apply that to everything in life. If you don't know what to expect, you're going to be anxious. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be uncertain. So when we're trend following long, or trend following short, let me just highlight this right here. These two. Do you know what the characteristics are of those trades? And I'm not talking about the different intervals or anything. It could be a 5-minute, could be a daily, could be a weekly, a monthly. It just, what is the characteristics? Well, a couple of things. They're not very frequent. They don't happen that often. They also they do pay out the most. You get the biggest profits from those trades, but you also get the biggest drawdowns. That's not so good. The other thing is the winning percentage. A lot of people are fooled by winning percentage. A lot of times people are hurting themselves from the winning percentage. Trend following systems, a trend following trader, if he gets trades right 5 out of 10 times, he's doing really, really well. A lot of times it's just 3 out of 10. Now, before you discount that, think about that for a minute. When you put on 10 trades, how are you going to feel if you lose 5 out of 10? How are you going to feel if you lose 7 out of 10? How are you going to feel if you don't know? And you don't have someone to say, you're okay, but you need to be able to see it play out. And you got to be sure that you're on the trend. And or you'll become very anxious. very nervous. And a pilot, JFK Jr., he started listening to his inner ear, you know, which, by the way, if he had just flipped a switch and put it back in autopilot, he'd probably still be alive today. But he was, God, scary. So trend following systems pay the most. They're infrequent and they have a very low winning percentage. Okay. Counter trends, counter trend short, counter trend longs. What are the characteristics of those? They're very frequent. They happen a lot. So if you struggle with patience, you talk really fast, act really fast, play golf really fast, walk real fast, you just fast. You may struggle with trend following because, you want to move real fast. Counter trending, that might be a thing. But what else do we know about counter trends? They're very fast. They're very frequent. They don't pay a lot. They only pay it a little bit. They only pay it a little bit. And you got to be very precise. So you get into a counter trend and you're trying to always stretch it. Oh, I'm up 200, 300. Oh man, I think I can make $2,000 on this one. And it comes back. I lost 300. Damn. Oh. The other thing about the counter trend, though, what's so seductive about counter trend trading is they have a very high winning percentage, 70 to 80% of the time. You have to be winning 70 to 80% of the time if you're a good counter trend trader. Well, who the hell doesn't want to do that? I had to discipline myself to kind of get away. That's how they're seductive. They're frequent. They pay out a little bit, and they have a high winning percentage when you're doing them well. So they are seductive, no question about it. And but it's not just that they're the opposite of a trend following. Trend following is they pay out a lot, they're infrequent, and they have a low winning percentage. You need to know that. So what happens is a counter trend trader who's trying to migrate to trend, he or she, they get into the trend and they're like, oh, I got to get my money out. I mean, I went into the trend on the 5-minute at 10:30 and I'm up $1,200. I'm up 450. I got to get out. I got to get out. And they get out. And there's really no reason to come out. And they need to stay in. Because if they're going after the trend, you need the big payouts to offset the losses. You need that. And you need to know that before you go in. But not only do you need to know all that before you go in, you need to know that when you're in the trade. And so that's why we spend the time that we do on the different trades. So a person could be taking a robot that is going after the trend, and then they're trying to force it into a counter trending trade, and it doesn't do nearly as well. Does that make sense? All we can do, and what I'm trying to do even here when we do these YouTube sessions, is to make you aware maybe of some things that you may not be aware of. And then what we practice and what we do during the Q school is to actually have you implement them so that you end up teaching yourself. Option traders for us, option trading is a counter trending endeavor. Can I underline this? Yeah, counter trend. Options are almost always, for us, counter trending. Our intraday futures, we'd prefer to be, grabbing, small micro trends. That's all we're doing. And we're diversified. So we can trade intraday and make a little bit, you know, some days going to be bigger than others. And then we can also put on option trades. Now we did, if you go and look at our tweet from yesterday, we did put out a tweet that we were sellers of the NASDAQ at 15,000, I think it was 15,681. That was 150 points ago. You can go to the tweet stream. It's there. Now we're not handing out the fish though. We're not, you know, I'm not a broker. I'm not a financial advisor. So we're not handing out the fish. Our tools are presenting them, but you can pick and choose. And then, but we are mentoring you on how we're going about it. And there's not many other people that are actually going to take you behind the curtain. You know, you're going to be forced to watch, you know, Dan Nathan and, you know, Giadami and Nathan, you know, looking at double bottoms and double tops and that kind of nonsense. Or moving averages, you know, oh, it's a 50-day moving average. See how it came right down and hit the moving average, or the trend lines, you know. Carter Worth seems like a great guy, you know, I'm sure he is. And, you know, but if you haven't realized, they just redraw trend lines, right? You can get trend lines, you can get the machine to draw trend lines. They just redraw them. You know, oh, look at that. It came right down. Look at it, magically just hit that little trend line. And then, oh man, and then you come back like, 3 weeks later, look at, and the trend line has moved. I mean, all you need is 3 points. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. And you will catch in a moment of clarity from Carter. In fairness, he will say it's a period twos, right? It can do this or it can do that. Exactly. Exactly. Profit factor. Let me just clear this. If you are flipping coins to make your decision and you risk $100 to make $100, and you do that 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times, are you going to make any money? Do you know what your profit factor is going to be? Your gross profit divided by gross loss will come in, if you do that precisely, will come in between 0.9 and 1.1. You won't make any money. You won't lose any money. I mean, you may lose. What you lose will go to the brokerages. 0.9 to 1.1. If you flip coins, risk 100 to make 100. That's what you'll do. And if you need to do that just to do it, to learn that you can trade without losing big and losing money, then you do it. But if you learn the machinery, you have somebody explain the numbers and you have somebody explain the approach, and you begin to use these tools and you begin to use the machinery to give you a profit factor of 1.29. We traded last night 18 times. We had a profit factor of 1.29, 1.29, $576. Had nothing to do with the trend line. Had nothing to do with, we have members that are hearing me today. We have members that have, well, in fact, let me show you, but we have members that have had profit factors for a week of 80. So, and we don't even talk in terms of the money. But what I want to show you is, let me go get it. I want to maintain its privacy. So the last person to go through our Q school, I'm going to find it. Bear with me. This is his score for his third week. Not my score, his score. I didn't give him one trade. Let me slide this in. I want to make sure I don't break his privacy here because I'm going to bring it into view. I'll put it over here. This is his scorecard. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom. Let me see if I can do this. I gotta be careful I don't mess this up. Oh, all right. I am going to kind of mess it up, but all right. So let's no. Let's see. Bear with me. Let me download this into an Excel. Oops. I'm going to try to open up an Excel file here if I can. Oh, here it is. Excel. Oh, yeah, it's already opening. Okay, so this will give us what we need. All right, so here it is. All right, so here is the Excel, and I'm going to just scroll down. I'm not going to, we won't, this is his last week, but so his gross profit was 3,127. And by the way, he was trading. What was his trading strategy? He was trading swing machine. He was trading the 1 minute trader in the direction of the 5 minute. Now we didn't send him the radar, but we sent him a paint bar. So he was doing it with a paint bar. That's what he was doing. And now this person had trading experience. But he also shared with us he had never done what we asked him to do. At the end of the week, he had a gross profit of 3,127. He had a gross loss of 770. His profit factor was 4.06. He was making $4.06 for every dollar he expended. He had 7 winning trades and 7 losing trades. 50-50. Now his net is whatever that is. We don't have a net column, probably should, but he modified. This is our scorecard, and he modified. I like what he did, and then he also was keeping track of the time. His total time in the market was 487 minutes. Crazy. His average winners were 447. His average losers were 110. Do you have a scorecard? Do you keep score? Do you know how to keep score? Do you have a scorecard for last week, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, a year ago? Or are you just keeping track of the money? I played really, really good last week. Man, I was really hitting them at the range. I don't know what happened, but, man. They work very hard, folks. The folks that are performing, they're not doing it by accident. They're not winging it. The surgeons that are really, really good, they're not winging it. They're not. They're really, really good because they're really, really good. And I just can't tell you how disciplined they are. Those guys and women, the surgeons, as you'd expect they would be. Well, I spent my life with them. We were wearing masks before it was fashionable. They're very mechanical. Certain surgeons are more mechanical than others with the pods. I mean, they're like carpenters. They really are. Plastic surgeons are like artists, but they're still very mechanical and they make it look easy. So we're going to let you watch up until noon. I've got to break away. Be sure if any of this resonates with you. I hope we shared a few things, give you some insight. So is Swing Machine Plus a holy grail? No. We don't think we don't think there is a holy grail. The holy grail is you. And I cannot tell you enough, or share with you how powerful your mind is. So if you are telling yourself that you can't do something, you will not do it. I don't care. You will not do it. Now, it isn't enough just to be a positive thinker. I'm not a Pollyanna. I know that. But I will say this, you can be working really, really hard. And if you are beating yourself up and you can't do something, I can't do this, this guy, that guy, forget about it. I'm not going to give them to you. I'm not going to give you the trades. I don't do that. Our machines present them, but I'm not giving you the trades. So I'm not the guru. You're going to have to do it. And if you don't want to spend the time, then that's fine. Don't. And, there are other things to do in life. There's hunting and there's fishing and there's playing golf and there's families. And I get all that, but, it is a time endeavor. But I'm not handing them out. I don't do that. We're not set up for that. We mentor. And so this is for the person, and it's a mature person that says, hey, I'm going to take these tools. And you know something? I think I could take Swing Machine, which we're going to probably do here in the next few days, and take Swing Machine as identifying the trend. And I can completely modify this to counter trend. You could do that. You could do that. And we'll probably make a video of that and even show our members how to do that, how to take Swing Machine. And we can hide columns. We can hide certain columns and we could trade it on a counter trend basis, going after, if that's what you want to do. If you are that, that fast trader, you want to be faster and get in and get out and get done what you want to get done. I like the fact that the gentleman, Sai, that when he went through his Q school, that he was keeping track of his time in the market, because time in the market is a risk factor and a risk consideration. It most definitely is. The more that you stay at it, the more you're in there, the greater likelihood you could get hit. What we also like about the futures markets is that they're open, 24 hours. The issue that I have with options is that they're closed. That's why we'd rather be sellers of options. We would rather do credit spreads so that we're putting the time element, the time decay on our side. When you buy options and do your debit spreads and buying calls and puts, or just even doing debit spreads, time is working against you and the damn markets are closed. So makes sense. Any questions, let us know. We'll watch. In the meantime, the VIX, I swear, I sometimes I think they disconnect it, but it's pretty, the options market isn't that fearful right now. A little creep up. This trade here is still here. Now if we have a member that went in and gated, made his 300, he did. The Dow is actually not short. So the market is still, the other piece that's going on, I'll clear these boxes off so we don't confuse anybody. This is an options week, right? So this happens quite a bit. We're now trading the Z contract, but the U contracts in options all expire on Friday. It's really hard sometimes to sell markets down in front of options. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of leverage bets, trying to tag money, tag prices. So invariably there's a tendency to want to kind of run up and hang in here and stick some prices. And it might be, some round numbers like 4,500 or something. Once we get past the 15th, maybe that afternoon, but early next week, then we think the volatility is really going to increase in the market. And we think, the last couple of weeks could be really interesting to say the least. Markets are in the middle. They could certainly go up, but we would need to see a real compression of volatility, an increase in volatility. We think the markets will turn down, and that's what we're thinking. But we're kind of hamstrung in here, so we're not being too greedy. We just come in and get done what we need to get done. Howard, thanks for your question. Folks that came by, thanks. Be sure to visit the site. Send us your emails. And all new monthly members get a 1-day hall pass where you let us know what day works best for you. We'll give you a full tour in the morning, let you hang out on a live Zoom. And then if you are at all interested in an annual membership or a Q school, definitely have to reach out to us. And please know annual membership licenses are limited each year. And we're far exceeding what we did last year. So, come November, December, there'll probably be a wait list for January because we're only going to expand so far so fast. So. By the way, for our members, HFT2 is running. It looks really good too, right? I've got distracted. We should have done much better, but I have it running on a 3x3 P&F on NQ 3x3. And let me just, my computer's really slow. I don't know why it's doing this. The resolution is kind of scary. Let me just share with you the settings. HFT2, 2, 2 and 4, 2 and 4. Very simple, 2 and 4. So pretty quick. And we were doing a lot of testing the last few days, into last week on a number of things. We're continuing to test those things out of view, but we didn't want to lose sight, and we want to be able to post some earnings here as well for folks. So, but we got a nice. It came off of that nice long here. It's got a nice long trade it's working on right now. So we're out of it. The last trade, in fact, let me just tell you, is up, another $600. So pretty comfortable.